Okay, let's continue our conversation around the if statement. So I've already written a bunch of code, but what we're going to do is we're going to take that out of your view here. And this is a program that accepts an integer input from the user. If the input is less than 0 or if it's greater than 9, it gives an error. That means if you say -1, it will throw an error. If you say 25, it will throw an error. What does throw an error mean? It basically means nothing. It's just going to print out, hey, your input is invalid, and the program will end, right? If, however, the number is between 0 and 9, inclusive, it will print the number back that you entered on the screen, but in words. For example, if you enter this, the character 5, the output of the code will be you entered 5. Okay, so that's what I want you to think about. Now, for those of you who think you can crack this problem without looking at the code that I have written, I would highly recommend that you pause this video. It doesn't matter if you're wrong, and try this. Just take a look at this problem statement, go to VS Code or the editor of your choice and try to write this, right? And if you think if it works, great. You should still take a look at what I did. Maybe you will learn something, maybe not, but you should definitely read that code that I have written. And if you couldn't crack it in your first attempt, please do not lose heart. This is why you're learning. This is why you're not yet an expert. Don't let that demotivate you. So let's see. This is a program that accepts an integer input from the user. So right away, you know that you have to take an input from the user. When you do that, you use the input statement. And I'm explicitly saying in the problem statement there's an integer, so you know you have to use the int function. You have to assign it to some variable, and you probably know already that there's going to be a bunch of if statements involved here to make that decision, right? So let's look at my code line by line. We were right. We took an input from the user, converted it to an integer, stored it in the variable number. Then pay attention to this if statement. The rest, elif, is pretty straightforward. You know, the number is 1, you entered 1. The number is equals to 2, you entered 2. Pay attention, it's not a single equals, it's 2 equals here. Why is it 2 equals? Because when you are assigning something to something, we use a single equals. But when you are checking if the values are equal, we use double equal. Keep that in mind. One of the first things which you find different when you learn coding compared to normal languages, right? So this should be pretty straightforward, elif number 1. But let's talk about the first statement. First statement addresses the first statement of the problem. The number should not be less than 0 or not be greater than 9. So that's what we're doing. If number is less than 0 or number is greater than 9, print invalid input. Make sure the number is between 1 and 9, right? And then we say, okay, if that's not true, then is the number equal to 1? If it is, then print you entered 1. Otherwise, we keep going down. If number equal to 2, is number equal to 3, number equal to 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, let's pay attention here. Now, I don't know whether it's true or not, but a lot of people think that number 7 is lucky. So I'm just trying to show you that when you want more than one statement to be executed when a condition is true, you have to put them at the same spacing from the left margin. So in this case, when you enter 7, it will print you entered 7. This is considered lucky by many people. Number 8, number 9. So I guess you know what time to do now. Time to test this out. So we're going to say made-up4.py, and it says enter a number. So I'm going to say 44, and it says invalid input. Now I'm going to say 8. It says 8. Whoa, didn't work. When the number, oh, sorry. I say number 8. It says you entered 8, and let's try number 7. So say number 7, and it executes both statements. So hopefully this program made sense, and in the next one I'll have an interesting problem statement for you where I will not write the code, you will write the code. That'll be your first programming assignment.